Do you understand then why people are afraid of you?
Well, since I started talking, there's been an effort to make me totally toxic. I'll give you an example. Sky News interview, yeah? Jason Farrell. Google this. Tommy Robinson, I don't care if I incite fear, yeah? So I've gone for an interview with Sky News, and I've done this yesterday with another journalist, and I've put a camera there and just press record as we're sitting talking like this. So I've recorded the entirety of the conversation because I know what they're going to do. And then the headline comes out in Sky News. Let me get it up, actually, because it's still out there. The fact it's still out there is insane. This got 4,000 Ofcom complaints, and this is just one example. I don't care if I incite fear of Muslims, yeah? This was a headline, bacon headline, everywhere. What?
Did you say it?
No. So Tom Robinson, I don't care if I incite fear of Muslims, yeah? Now, when I watched it, I'm looking at it thinking, I didn't say that. Well, how's he? And I saw this headline and it blew up everywhere. So I watched the video back. And what I say to him, we're talking about a video called Loverboy that come out of Holland. And the Dutch education system was showing in 2006, I think, they were showing an education video to Dutch girls to show that Moroccan men use a process called Loverboy to entrap the girls. It's the same as grooming, yeah? It's the Moroccans doing it in Holland. It's the Pakistanis doing it in England. So what I said about that film, we're talking about that film, and I said, I don't care if that film incites fear, as long as it stops kids getting raped, yeah? So I was talking about a film. That was the context. Now, what they done is, when they showed me sitting here, he put a voiceover saying, I put to Tommy Robinson that he continually upsets and puts fear into Muslims. And then it had me saying, I don't care if it incites fear. Yeah. So I've done the transcript of their own YouTube video. So I don't care if they got rid of the T because I said it, incite, and they got rid of the S. Yeah. So they manufactured a voiceover for a question they hadn't asked me to give a portrayal to the public of me acting like I don't care. And I do. And the truth is, I do care if people are worried. I remember sitting in a hairdresser's in Luton at the English Defence League days, and a Muslim girl saying she was scared because the English Defence League were in town. My heart dropped. And then at the same time, I had to weigh up that girl feeling like that with English girls feeling scared to walk the streets, English parents feeling scared that their daughters can't go up the park. So I had to weigh all that up. But my point is, people have a fear of me because they have a fear of the portrayal of who I am. And the portrayal of who I am has come from a deceitful, lying media.
And does none of it come from your behaviour?
Yeah, some of it. At times I'm impulsive. I've been on covert recordings. I've been recorded live. I've done 100 speeches at national demonstrations against Islam, against immigration. There's one thing I've said, one, that's wrong. One. And it was at a Tower Hamlets demonstration where I said, every Muslim watching this, you got away with killing on 7/7. This is exactly what I said. You got away with killing on 7/7. If British people are hurt, maimed or murdered again in this country, you will feel the full force of the English Defence League. Yeah. And I regret that. And that's the one thing I've said.
Let's be clear though, why do you regret it?
Because it was wrong.
Oh, what part of it?
The warning to every single Muslim, they didn't get away with killing or maiming. I was the leader at that time, and I was a bit out of control at that time. I was the leader at that time of a pressure movement. I saw my job was to put pressure, and I thought when we started the English Defence League, we're going to put pressure on the Muslim community to turn on the radicals. That was our intention. And it worked in Luton at the start. We put pressure on them. They come out and confronted all the jihadists. So Al Mujahideen were confronted by all the Muslims after Friday prayers, but they're only confronted. And I remember emailing the imam afterwards saying, it's great what you've done today, but you only done it because we've made you do it. You didn't do it for the greater good of the town. You done it because you're scared. That's basically why you done it.
Thinking forwards, when I look at the path that you've taken that you describe in your books, so you went from Enemy of the State, Silenced, Manifesto, these main three books. I think they show a sort of arc of the development of you, Stephen, but actually of Tommy Robinson, which is a brand.
I'd say Stephen Lennon is the individual, it's me.
Yeah.
And Tommy Robinson has become the movement. Right. Tommy Robinson means a lot of things to a lot of different people.
So what does it mean to you? What is Tommy Robinson?
It's a nightmare. If I'm honest, it's a nightmare. It's, I'm two different people. I'm a father, I'm a normal lad. But then at the same time as well, I've had to become a certain person at certain times for my own survival instinct.
Do you feel like you're some sort of prophet then?
No, I don't feel like I'm a prophet. No, not. I feel like
I don't mean religiously. I mean, I'm not saying, have you got Messiah complex? I'm saying that, do you feel you've got an important warning? You've got an important message. You're on the rampart. You've seen the danger coming and you have to warn the people on the inside what's going on and they don't want to hear it.
I realised in 2014 when I became a journalist, because you had to use to get people on the street and that was the platform to talk to people, which is what we've done with the English Defence League. Yeah. And then I realised that we just need to be on these. Yeah. So, and then I also realised come 2014, remember 6 Muslims had gone to jail for planning to kill us for they got caught with guns and bombs on the way to a demonstration. We'd got through some pretty provocative street protests, which is what they were at the time, but it's what was needed at the time, if I'm honest. It wasn't great. The English Defence League was for the brave and sometimes the stupid.
And the violent and the racist?
Yep. Well, to say there wasn't racist in that movement would be a lie, yeah? But to say, but there's racist in the Metropolitan Police Force, it doesn't make it a racist institution, yeah?
And there's racism in jihadism.
There's golfers in the English Defence League, it's not a golf society. So, but we rooted out the racists every time. We rooted out the racists, but every time we were rooting out the racists, the media were telling racists it's a party for them. So we had this, and purity comes with time. It took us 2 years. I'd say we got to a point in 2 years in the English Defence League where we'd cleared the bad apples out, but they'd all set up their own group. So it was a constant battle. And all my time in the end, which is why I wanted to leave, was spent fighting elements within the English Defence League. Elements that wanted to manoeuvre and direct the English Defence League against all immigration. That was never my issue. My issue was Islam. And my issue was Islam because I'd grown up in Luton Town. And when you talk about profit, so I realised then what I need them to see is what I see. I need them to know what I know. So I know the problems in Luton. I've grown up with them. I know the dangers. I know the good and the bad. I remember sitting on a Kofi, is it Kofi Annan? Is that the UN dude? So his speechwriter, who is an expert on multiculturalism. So I was debating him on Russia Today, I think. And as I'm debating him, I said, so you're the expert on multiculturalism. I said, where did you grow up? And he said, Exeter. And I started laughing, yeah. Well, 99.9% white Christian city. But you're the expert on multiculturalism. You don't know anything that you're talking about. You don't know because you haven't experienced it. Now, it's like reading a book on building a house and thinking you can go build a house, yeah. I've grown up in Luton Town. I've grown up in a town plagued with Islamic extremism problems. I've seen the good and the bad. I know some brilliant Muslims, as I said. I know Muslims that I love, yeah? But per se, there's a massive problem. And I want the public who live in areas, say like, you got Luton here, you got Hitchin there. Hitchin has no idea what this is like. I remember when I first come out of Luton, when I was like 18, 19, I'd never been out of Luton. I remember going to other towns and just being shocked. Just thinking, like, wow, like, I thought everywhere was like Luton. And then I realised that the level of violence in Luton is not normal. I remember when I moved, there was a village and I was in the gym in the village and I was talking about my son at the time. I said, well, when he has a broken nose, and the kid in the gym said, well, when would he have a broken nose? I said, we're going to school. And he said, why would he have a broken nose at school? I said, I guess the kids will just fight with the other schools. He said, well, I've never seen a fight at my school. And I was like, you've never seen a fight at your school? He said, I've never ever seen a fight. And I was just shocked. For me, I was just like, what? And then I realised as you grow up, you develop, and I realised that things that happen in Luton aren't normal. It's not normal. There's a massive level of violence, a massive level of hostility. Take Islam out of the problem, the town is in trouble. Yeah? There's 5 stabbings a week in Luton, every week. So what you grow up thinking is normal, it's not normal.
So you saw this because of Luton, and in a way you think it's spreading. I mean, it is spreading.
So Luton's a blueprint.
Right. And for example, the terror attack at the Manchester synagogue on Yom Kippur, I think has been another wake-up moment for a lot of Jewish people. I don't know if you saw that speech that David Lammy did to the Jewish community.
I saw him try and talk. I think it's absolute insult that he even showed up with his views. He is part of the problem. He's caused the hostility. Do you know when a lie is told 1,000 times? Yeah, like the English Defence League, for example. So every single English Defence League demonstration, every single one, a non-white person spoke. I made sure of it. A gay person spoke. Everyone. We had Tommy English, who was leader of the gay division. We had a gay division, a gay and lesbian division. We had a Sikh division, a Hindu division. We had divisions that suited my mindset, of how I've been brought up, and to welcome everybody into a movement that was opposed to Islam, which was our sole objective.
So I just want to pause